It's the Friday's edition of Business Morning. Thank you for joining us on the program. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwago. Well, Nigeria, there are new challenges facing banks in terms of regulation and risks around the world, and Nigeria is not an exception. To this end, the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, United Kingdom, plans to hold an international bankers conference to discuss the challenges of regulatory changes and de-risking in the banking sector. Well, we hope to cross over to our studios at the Stock Exchange. My colleague Boson will be engaging the President, Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, Dr. Uche Olowu, on this issue of regulation and other issues in the banking sector. Well, while we get ready to do that, let's quickly take a look at what's making the rounds in the news. The Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority has paid a total of $417.46 million to the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading Company. The transfer follows the expiry of the 4 years investment term. The NSIA says the $417.46 million was transferred in 3 tranches made up of $8 million, $5.5 million, and $403.96 million. It said the returned funds consisted of the principal sum of $350 million allocated to the NSIA from the proceeds of the $1 billion Eurobond issued by the federal government in July 2013 under a fund management agreement, and the sum of $67.46 million as interest and earnings over the investment period. And shareholders of Nine Mobile have asked the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Nigerian Communications Commission, and others involved in the ongoing negotiation to sell Nine Mobile not to proceed with the transaction in view of a pending case before the Federal High Court in Abuja. The shareholders, Avdin Ventures Limited and Derbia Nigeria Limited, have warned of the legal consequences to the CBN and others should they proceed to conclude the sale of the network, despite a subsisting order by the court halting further activities in relation to the sale of the telecommunication firms. And let's look at some market news there. Berger Paint PLC posted a 13% increase in revenue in its first half-year earnings. The company's revenue was 1.6 billion naira compared to 1.4 billion naira in the comparable period of 2017. Gross profit was 729.4 million naira. That's 14% higher than the figure posted in 2017. The company made a profit before tax of 179.3 million naira, 23% higher from 2017 figure, and then profit after tax closed at 121.9 million naira. Basic earnings per share was 42 kobo. All right, we have to cross over now to the exchange where Boson Omofe will be engaging the CIBN president on the banking regulations. Good morning, Boson.
Yes.
Good morning, Boson.
Yes, Chimeze, good morning. It's good to be with you on the program live here from the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And of course, the key issue in the Nigerian banking sector, we're taking up some of these issues in de-risking the environment and, of course, regulatory issues. There are new developments around the world. For example, the new IFRS, which will be fully in operation by January 2019. And of course, it's nice to have here with us to discuss this within the local perspective and the global picture is Uche Olowu, who is the new current president and head of the Council of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. Mr. Olowu, it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and welcome to our new studio here at the Stock Exchange. You're the first CEO to appear on the program in the studio, so thank you. You're making history today.
It's my pleasure.
It's good to have you. Let's go straight. What are the current issues in regulation and de-risking environment?
Yeah, thank you very much. You've had a ton of regulations coming out
from
the regulators. So that has informed what we're doing, the first global conference that is going to hold in United Kingdom, in London, specifically on the 30th of August through 1st of September. The theme actually is the challenges of regulatory changes and de-risking. The A part of this is what has happened is that there are quite a lot of Nigerian banks that are in UK, and there have been a lot of ton of regulations that that is happening, and that will mean that they have to change their business model. So that for us is a problem that we want to tackle in this conference. That conference, we have two approaches. We have one that is happening with London Institute of Banking and Finance, formerly Chartered Institute of Bankers of London. We're looking at finance of international trade, how regulations will impact, the current regulations that are rolling out will impact on trade, international trade and transactions. That is one.
Is the global banking industry under some pressure, as it were? Some folks, yes, banks are under pressure. There are new regulations. This is 10 years down the line since the global market and economic meltdown, isn't it?
Correct.
So this is the 10th anniversary.
Yes.
So you think this is a good time for you who are institutional bankers and others to come together for this, to talk all over again, to talk together and look at what is going on?
Basically, because we are dealing with the resources, we are stewards of people's investment. So regulators would not, that is their function to ensure safety and soundness of banking system. So clearly, yes, the reaction, in fact, I was online with the president of the Florida Banking Association. They even took their case to the Congress because they are saying there have been reaction to respect to regulations. Yes, but that is what it is. So what bankers need to do is that how do we see how we can, navigate all through that and ensure that we do business. That's basically what we're doing. Especially take, for example, the data breaches. Data breaches. In post GDPR, that's also we need to discuss because part of our mandate is capacity building. We need to inform our members what they need to do. We have outposts in Canada, in UK, and in US. So Nigerian banks are there, and we need to inform them and they need to understand the environment they are playing. And also, there is nexus between Nigerian banks here, the parent company in Nigeria, and that because the systems are two different jurisdictions. What happened is that they need to understand that the regulations in UK differs from what we have here. And that because sometimes in terms of information that you need on customer information, the GDPR has changed all that. And it has a lot of impact on how we operate. So we need to inform the people.